Let's talk about something powerful, a secret so transformative that once you understand it, you'll never approach love and relationships the same way again. Are you tired of feeling like you're putting in all the effort while he barely notices? Or worse, have you ever wondered why some women seem to effortlessly leave men craving their presence, while others struggle to hold their attention? It's frustrating, isn't it? Society has taught us to chase, to pour our hearts out, to always be available. But let me tell you something shocking. That's the exact reason why he's pulling away. Here's the truth. Men don't fall in love with constant presence or over-availability. They fall in love with space, mystery, and the magnetic pull of a woman who knows her worth. And that's where the ancient wisdom of Stoic love comes into play, by mastering emotional control and embracing a sense of self-worth. You can make any man, even one who isn't initially interested, start to think about you, long for you, and yes, miss you. In this video, I'm going to share 7 transformative steps that will completely shift how men see you. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about stepping into your power and creating a dynamic that leaves him wanting more. Each of these steps taps into psychology and emotional intelligence to help you become the woman he can't get out of his head. Are you ready to discover how to captivate him on a deeper level and make him miss you so badly he can't help but think about you? Let's dive into the first step and unravel the art of emotional music mastery. 1. Live your best life without one. Live your best life without him. Here's the paradox. The more you center your world around him, the less he values your presence. It sounds counterintuitive, but men are drawn to women who are fulfilled, passionate, and living their lives on their own terms. Why? Because independence is magnetic. Picture this. You've stopped chasing. You're no longer sending that good morning text or endlessly refreshing your phone, waiting for a reply. Instead, you've shifted your focus to your own goals, your hobbies, your social life. Suddenly, you've created an aura of mystery, and he's left wondering, what is she doing that's so captivating without me? Let me share a secret about human psychology. We crave what feels just out of reach. When your happiness doesn't hinge on his attention, you instantly become more valuable in his eyes. You're no longer predictable, you're intriguing. And let's be honest, what's more attractive than a woman who knows how to live fully, regardless of whether or not he's paying attention? Think of it this way. If your life is a dazzling, vibrant movie, you're the star and he's just a supporting role. He doesn't define your story, you do. That's the power of embracing the principles of Stoicism. Ancient Stoics believed in cultivating inner peace and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. You too can embody this by becoming the architect of your own joy. Imagine you're out with friends, laughing, trying new things, and building a life so full that there's no time to obsess over his responses. You're glowing from within. And guess what? Men notice that he'll see that your world doesn't stop spinning when he's not around. And that realization, it's electrifying. Here's where it gets exciting. By living your best life, you inadvertently trigger his fear of being replaced, even if he's not consciously aware of it. Seeing you thrive without him makes him wonder if he's losing his chance to be part of your incredible world. That fear, my friend, is powerful. It's what makes him start to miss you badly. But here's the key. Don't flaunt it. Your independence shouldn't feel like a performance designed to get his attention. Post that picture of you enjoying your day, or share that new project you're working on, but don't overdo it. Keep it subtle. The quieter your confidence, the louder it speaks. Ask yourself, what passions have you been putting on hold? Is there a dream you've been shelving while focusing on him? This is your moment to reclaim your narrative, to rediscover the things that make you you. Because when you're unapologetically yourself, when you radiate joy and purpose, he won't just miss you, he'll be captivated by you. So what are you waiting for? Stop waiting for his validation. Stop dimming your light for someone who isn't giving you the energy you deserve. Build the kind of life that excites you. Because here's the truth. The man who truly values you will be drawn to that vibrancy, like a moth to a flame. Are you ready to start living your best life? In the next part, we'll uncover the art of resisting attention traps, because not every message deserves your energy. Trust me, this one will change the way you see relationships forever. 2. Resist the attention. 2. Resist the attention traps. Let me ask you something. How many times have you dropped everything to respond to a man's random text, only to feel disappointed afterward? Maybe it was a hey at 1 p.m. or a selfie he posted on Instagram that screamed, "Notice me." These little gestures, innocent as they may seem, are often subtle tests. Men send out these feelers not because they're ready to commit, but to check if you're still hooked. Here's where most women get it wrong. They take the bait. They respond instantly. Shower him with attention and unknowingly hand over their power. But not you. Not anymore. This is your moment to flip the script, to harness the art of restraint, and to show him that your validation is not something he can summon at will. Let's break this down. When he sends a vague text or post, something designed to catch your attention, he's fishing. He wants to see if you'll bite, if you'll prove that you're still available to him emotionally. This is where the principles of Stoic love come in. The ancient Stoics were masters of emotional discipline. They didn't react impulsively to external triggers, and neither should you imagine this scenario. He sends you a late-night WhatsApp message. Your immediate instinct might be to respond right away, eager to keep the conversation alive. But here's the truth. The faster you respond, the less he values your reply. Why? Because you're confirming his expectation that you'll always be there waiting. Instead, here's what you do. Nothing that's right. Resist the urge to reply. Close your messaging app, put down your phone, and redirect your attention to something that lights you up. Maybe it's a book. You've been dying to finish a workout that makes you feel strong, or a creative project that brings you joy. The point is, your response, or lack thereof, should reflect that you're not tethered to his whims. Now, let's take it a step further. Suppose he posts a thirst trap selfie or a story that feels like it's directed at you. Most women might react with a comment or a heart-eye emoji, but here's the power move. Don't engage. Leave him in suspense by not reacting. You send a silent but profound message. I see you, but I'm not moved by you. This restraint does something incredible. It shifts the power dynamic. Suddenly, he's the one left questioning. Why didn't she reply? Is she losing interest? Is there someone else? And let me tell you, that uncertainty, it's intoxicating. It plants the seed of curiosity which grows into longing. Here's a secret about men. They're drawn to women who are hard to pin down. When you're not available at his every beck and call, you become a challenge, a mystery. He feels compelled to unravel. It's not about playing games. It's about respecting your own emotional boundaries and making him earn your attention. But let's be real, this isn't always easy. Ignoring a message or withholding a reaction can feel unnatural, even and uncomfortable. After all, we're wired to seek connection and reciprocate attention. But here's where Stoicism comes into play again. It teaches us that true strength lies in mastering our impulses and staying grounded, even when it feels tempting to give in. Think of it this way: every time you resist the urge to respond, you're reclaiming a piece of your power. You're showing him and yourself that you're not dependent on his breadcrumbs of attention. Instead, you're focused on your own growth, your own happiness, your own journey. Here's the beauty of this approach. The more you resist, the more he starts to notice your absence. He begins to wonder why you're not reacting the way others might. He starts to question what's changed, and in doing so he starts thinking about you more and more. Let me paint a picture for you. He posts a photo of himself at a party hoping you'll comment. You don't, he sends a casual miss. You text expecting an immediate reply. You don't give him 1 day's go by, and suddenly he's the one overanalyzing, replaying conversations in his head and wondering why you're so unbothered. That's the power of restraint. It puts you in control of the dynamic, and it makes him realize just how much he values your attention. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if he loses interest? But here's the truth. If he's the right man, he won't. In fact, your ability to hold back and prioritize your own life will make you even more attractive in his eyes. Why? Because men respect women who respect themselves. So the next time he sends that vague text or posts that calculated selfie, remember this. Your attention is a privilege, not a guarantee. Resist the bait. Reclaim your power and let him come to you. And hey, if you're feeling inspired by this and ready to embrace your inner power, show some love, like this video, and drop a number 1 in the comments. If you're ready to stop falling for attention traps and start owning your worth, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on mastering the art of love and relationships. Because this is just the beginning. In the next part, we're diving into the art of mystery, how keeping him guessing can make him miss you like never before. Trust me, you won't want to miss. Music. It 3. Be mysterious and keep him 3. Be mysterious and keep him guessing. Have you ever noticed how we're naturally drawn to things we can't fully understand? That magnetic pull toward mystery, the desire to figure out what's hidden beneath the surface. It's one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, and when it comes to relationships, it's no different. If you want to make a man miss you, one of the most effective ways is to become just a little bit mysterious. Imagine this. He asks you, "What have you been up to lately?" Most women might jump into a detailed recap of their day, eagerly sharing every little moment, but not you. Instead, you smile and respond with something simple like, "Oh, just keeping busy with a few exciting things." That's it. No elaborate explanations, no oversharing what you've done here. Is plant a seed of curiosity in his mind, and that seed will grow. Here's why this works. Men are natural problem solvers. When you leave gaps in your story, they can't help but fill in the blanks. He'll start to wonder, what exciting things is she talking about? Who is she spending her time with? What's going on in her life that she hasn't told me about? This isn't just about creating intrigue. It's about making him think about you long after the conversation has ended. But here's the key to being mysterious. It has to feel natural. Forced mystery comes across as disingenuous, and people can sense when you're deliberately withholding information. The art of mystery lies in sharing just enough to keep him engaged, but holding back enough to leave him wanting more. Think of yourself as the lead in a captivating novel. Each interaction is like a new chapter, revealing just a bit more of your character, while keeping the most compelling details hidden. He should feel like he's uncovering layers of who you are over time. Not all at once. This slow unraveling creates anticipation and excitement, and it keeps him hooked. Now let's take it a step further. Mystery isn't just about what you say, it's also about how you carry yourself. Your body language, your tone of voice, even your eye contact. These subtle cues can speak volumes. A playful smile, a knowing glance, or a slight pause before answering his question can make you seem enigmatic and alluring. And then there's the power of unpredictability. Men are creatures of habit. They notice patterns, and they're drawn to what disrupts those patterns. If you've been texting him consistently, break the rhythm. If you usually share details about your day, scale back and let him ask for more. These small changes make him sit up and take notice. They keep him on his toes, wondering what you'll do next. But why is mystery so effective? It's because it taps into a man's imagination. When you don't reveal everything, you give him the space to create his own narrative about you. And here's the fascinating part. His imagination will often idealize you, painting you in the best possible light. By leaving some things unsaid, you become larger than life in his mind, a woman who's exciting, complex, and worth pursuing. Let's talk about what mystery isn't. It's not about being secretive or playing hard to get true. Mystery is about holding on to your sense of self, about not feeling the need to explain every decision, every moment, or every thought. It's about being confident enough to let him come to you with questions, instead of giving him all the answers up front. For example, let's say he asks about your weekend plans. Instead of listing everything you're doing, you could say, "I've got a few fun things planned, but we'll see how it goes." Notice how this leaves room for him to wonder, is she going out with friends? Is she meeting someone new? The ambiguity is what makes it captivating. And here's where the magic happens. When he doesn't have all the information, he'll start to think about you more. He'll replay your conversation, trying to piece together the puzzle. He'll wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and what's occupying your thoughts. In other words, he'll miss you. The beauty of mystery is that it allows you to maintain control of the narrative. You're not revealing your entire world at once. You're inviting him to discover it bit by bit, and the more he discovers, the more invested he becomes. There's also an element of respect that comes with being mysterious when you don't overshare. You signal that your life is full and rich, and that you don't need anyone's validation to feel complete. This self-assuredness is incredibly attractive, and it sets you apart from women who are overly eager to please. So how do you embrace this? Start by taking a step back and re-evaluating how much you're sharing in your conversations. Ask yourself, am I giving him all the answers, or am I leaving room for him to be curious? Am I showing confidence in my own story, or am I seeking his approval? Remember, the goal isn't to be aloof or unapproachable. It's to create a dynamic where he feels drawn to you, intrigued by you, and eager to know more. It's about creating a sense of discovery where each interaction feels like peeling back another layer of who you are. And here's the best part. Mystery isn't just about making him miss you. It's about honoring your own complexity and embracing the fact that you are someone worth getting to know. By holding on to your mystery, you're showing him and yourself that you are a woman of depth, confidence, and substance. Keep him guessing and watch as he becomes captivated by the enigma that is you. Because once a man starts wondering about you, once he starts replaying your words and imagining your life without him, that's when he truly begins to miss you. And isn't that the kind of connection we all deserve? Stay tuned, because there's so much more to uncover. In the next part, we'll explore how subtle jealousy can make him realize just how much he values you. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. 4. Use subtle jealousy to your 4. Use subtle jealousy to your advantage. Jealousy. It's one of the most powerful emotions in relationships, isn't it? It's the emotion that makes people sit up, take notice, and reevaluate what they thought they knew. And when used subtly and ethically, it can be a game changer in making a man realize your value and miss you. Like never before, let me start with a question. How do people react when they see something slipping away from their grasp? That sense of urgency, but sudden need to act. It's all fueled by the fear of losing something they took for granted. And guess what? Men feel it too when a man sees that you're not entirely focused on him, that your world is rich and full with or without his attention. It triggers a deep-seated response. But let me be clear, this isn't about playing manipulative games or deliberately making him feel insecure. Subtle jealousy is about showing him that your life is vibrant, exciting, and filled with people who value your time. It's about reminding him that your attention is a privilege, not a given. Let's paint a picture. You're out with your friends, laughing, sharing inside jokes, and just living your best life. You capture a moment, a candid shot of you and your friends, enjoying the night, and post it on your social media. You're not flaunting, you're simply sharing a slice of your reality. But to him that picture says, she's having fun without me. Who's she with? What's making her smile like that? That this tiny, seemingly insignificant moment plants a seed of curiosity in his mind. And with curiosity comes jealousy, not the toxic kind, but the kind that makes him realize how much he values your presence in his life. Here's why this works. Men are wired to compete. It's in their nature. When he sees that you're sought after, that others enjoy being around you, it sparks the competitive instinct. He starts thinking, if I don't step up, someone else will. But the key to subtle jealousy is restraint. You're not flaunting or going out of your way to make him jealous. That would come across as desperate and contrived. Instead, you're simply living your life and letting him see that your attention isn't guaranteed. For example, if he texts you, "What are you up to?" you can respond with something casual yet encouraging, like "Just out with some friends, hope your day is going well. See what you did there." You're not giving too much detail, but you're also not hiding anything. It's honest, effortless, and leaves room for him to wonder. Now, let's take it a step further. Imagine mentioning in passing that you've been spending time on something you're passionate about, whether it's a new project, a hobby, or a social event. Maybe I've been volunteering at this amazing organization lately. It's been so rewarding. Or I joined this dance class and it's so much fun. What happens next? He starts picturing you, thriving, surrounded by people and experiences that fulfill you. And here's the twist. He's not part of that picture. That's the subtle jealousy in action. It's not about making him feel excluded. It's about showing him that your life is full and dynamic, with or without him. Here's another truth about jealousy. It makes people reassess their priorities. When he sees that you're valued by others, it forces him to think about what he could lose. He starts to appreciate the qualities in you that he might have overlooked. But what happens when jealousy isn't handled correctly? If you overdo it, posting too much, boasting, or making it feel like you're deliberately trying to provoke him, it backfires. He might see it as an attempt to seek attention, or worse, as a sign of immaturity. That's why subtlety is your secret weapon. Think of subtle jealousy as a whisper, not a shout. It's the quiet realization that you're not waiting around for his attention, that your life is filled with meaning and connection. It's the realization that you're someone worth holding on to, because if he doesn't, someone else will. Now let's talk about what happens next. Once that spark of jealousy is ignited, his behavior begins to change. Maybe he starts texting more, asking about your plans, or finding excuses to be part of your world. He'll feel the pull to re-establish his importance in your life, even if he can't quite articulate why. But here's the most important part. You don't need to respond to his jealousy with eagerness or excitement. Keep it balanced, stay grounded. Remember the principles of Stoicism, maintaining emotional control and confidence in yourself. You don't need his validation because your happiness comes from within. This is the art of Stoic love, letting your actions speak louder than words and allowing him to realize your worth on his own. It's about creating a dynamic where he sees you as the extraordinary woman you are not, because you told him, but because you showed him. And isn't that what we all want, to be seen, valued, and missed? Not because we demanded attention, but because we inspired it. If this resonates with you, let's make it a moment to connect, like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to embrace your inner confidence and let subtle jealousy work its magic. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the art of relative love and relationships, because trust me, there's so much more to uncover. In the next part, we'll explore how something as simple as a nickname can create a bond. He can't forget. Stay tuned for the next chapter of your journey to mastering the power of love and connection. 5. Create a personal bond. 5. Create a personal bond with a nickname. Words hold incredible power, don't they? They can comfort, ignite passion, or create bonds that feel deeply personal. And when it comes to making a man miss you, something as simple as a nickname can be one of the most effective tools in your arsenal. But this isn't just about calling him babe or honey. This is about crafting a unique connection, one that stays with him long after your conversations end. Imagine this: you're the only person who calls him trouble because of his mischievous grin, or you refer to him as captain because he's always steering the ship in his friend group. These aren't generic pet names. They're personal. They're tied to his identity in a way that makes him feel special, seen and understood. And here's where it gets even more powerful. Once you've given him a nickname, it becomes a part of the bond you share. Every time he hears that nickname, he's reminded of you even when you're not around. The name lingers, creating an emotional imprint that's hard to shake. Why does this work so well? It's because nicknames are intimate. They create a sense of exclusivity, a little world where just the two of you exist. Think about it. Everyone might call him by his first name, but only you call him Captain. That difference, however small, makes a huge impact on how he perceives your connection. But here's the secret to making this work. You can't overuse it. The magic of a nickname lies in its rarity. If you're constantly calling him by this special name, it starts to lose its charm. Instead, drop it into conversation sparingly. Use it during light-hearted moments or as a playful tease. For example, if he tells a cheeky joke, you might respond with, "Oh, there's the trouble again," and then there's the power of the pause. If you've been using a nickname, consistently pulling back and not using it for a while can create a noticeable void. He'll start to miss it. He'll notice its absence and wonder why you've stopped. Suddenly that little nickname becomes something he yearns to hear again. Nicknames also have a psychological effect. They're tied to memory and emotion. When you give him a name that's unique to your bond, it triggers feelings of connection every time he hears it. And when you create that connection, you're giving him something no one else can replicate. Let's take it deeper. A well-chosen nickname isn't just about making him feel special. It's about subtly shaping how he sees himself in the context of your relationship. For instance, if you call him hero during moments when he does something thoughtful, it reinforces his sense of being your protector. If you call him genius after he shares an interesting idea, it builds his confidence and makes him associate those positive feelings with you. But what happens when you're not around? That's where the real magic unfolds. Every time someone else uses a word or phrase that even remotely resembles the nickname you've given him, his mind will go back to you. It's a subconscious association, a reminder of the connection you share. Now let's talk about how this works in reverse. Giving him a nickname isn't just about how he feels. It's also about how you present yourself. When you have the confidence to create something personal and unique in your interactions, it shows that you're attentive, playful, and secure in who you are. It signals that you're not afraid to make your connection special, and that kind of confidence is magnetic. Of course, timing matters. You don't want to give him a nickname right away. It has to feel organic. Wait for the right moment, a situation where it feels natural to tie a name to something he said or done. Maybe it's a story he shares, a habit he has, or even the way he laughs. The more specific, ific, and personal it is, the more impactful it will be. And here's the kicker. Nicknames aren't just about him missing you when you're apart. They're about building a bond so strong that he starts to feel like he's missing a piece of himself. When you're not around, it's not just your physical presence he craves. It's the emotional connection, the feeling of being truly seen and appreciated. This is where Stoic love comes into play again. The Stoics believed in cultivating meaningful relationships through thoughtful actions and intentional communication by giving him a nickname. You're doing just that. You're showing him that your connection is intentional and unique, not something generic or fleeting. Think about it. When was the last time someone made you feel so special that their words stayed with you long after they were gone? That's the power of a nickname done right. It's not about manipulation or games. It's about creating a bond that lingers, a memory he carries with him no matter where he goes. So ask yourself, what makes him unique? What little quirks or habits make you smile? That's your starting point. And remember, it's not about being overly clever or forcing it. The best nicknames come from genuine moments, from truly paying attention to who he is by giving him a name that's uniquely his. You're giving him a reason to think of you. And when you combine that with the emotional distance we've already talked about, you're creating a dynamic that's irresistible. This is how you make a man miss you, not through grand gestures or over-the-top antics, but through the small, meaningful ways you show him that your connection is one of a kind. And trust me, once he starts to associate that nickname with all the positive feelings you bring into his life, he'll be thinking about you more than you could ever imagine. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we're diving into something even more transformative. How teaching him something new can create a lasting bond. He'll never forget. This journey is just getting started. 6. Teach him something. 6. Teach him something new. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time someone taught you something that changed the way you see the world? That moment of discovery stays with you, doesn't it? It's powerful, personal, and unforgettable. And here's the secret: when you become the person who introduces a man to something new, whether it's a skill, a perspective, or even a small piece of wisdom, you leave an indelible mark on him. Men crave experiences that challenge and excite them, just like women do. When you're the one who brings something fresh and meaningful into his life, you create a W that's far deeper than surface-level attraction. You become the woman he remembers every time he uses that skill, recalls that insight, or sees the world through a lens you helped him shape. But what does this look like in practice? Let's dive into it. Imagine you introduce him to a new hobby or interest. Something he's never tried before, but always been curious about. Maybe it's teaching him how to cook a dish you've mastered, or showing him how to conquer his fear of public speaking, with a few tips you've learned. These aren't grand gestures. They're small, meaningful moments where you're enriching his life in a way that no one else has. Here's where it gets exciting. When you teach him something new, it subtly elevates the way he sees you. You're no longer just someone he's attracted to. You're someone who inspires him, challenges him, and pushes him to grow. This isn't about being his mentor or taking on a teacher-student role. It's about creating shared experiences that feel natural and engaging. Now let's talk psychology. People form deep emotional bonds with those who expand their horizons. Think about your own experiences. When someone introduces you to a new idea, it sticks with you, doesn't it? That's because learning triggers a chemical response in the brain, releasing dopamine, which is tied to feelings of pleasure and reward. When he associates that sense of growth and excitement with you, it creates an emotional imprint that's impossible to ignore. But here's the magic. After you've taught him something new, you pull back. You don't hover or check in to see if he's practicing what you've shared. This is where Stoic love comes into play again, embracing detachment and allowing him the space to integrate what he's learned on his own. The Stoics believed in self-reliance, and by stepping back, you're subtly encouraging him to take ownership of this new skill or perspective. Imagine this scenario. You recommend a book that profoundly impacted you, something that shifted your perspective on life. He reads it, and suddenly he's seeing things differently. Every time he reflects on what he's learned, he thinks of you, the woman who opened that door for him. That connection doesn't fade. It deepens over time. But let's not forget, Get the power of shared experiences. Teaching him something new can also be about doing something together that's fresh and exciting for both of you. Maybe it's taking a dance class, exploring a new city, or diving into a creative project. These moments create memories that stick. Moments he'll replay in his mind when you're not there. And here's the kicker. When you teach him something, you're showing him that you're not just a passive participant in life. You're someone who actively seeks growth and has something valuable to share. This confidence and self-assuredness are magnetic. It's what sets you apart from women who only focus on surface-level connections. Let's take this one step further. What if the thing you teach him challenges him in a way that excites him? Men love a bit of friendly competition, and they're naturally drawn to people who can inspire them to be better by introducing him to something that stretches his limits. You're creating an opportunity for him to grow, not just for you, but for himself. Here's an example. You show him a shortcut to improve his workouts or a technique to calm his nerves before a big presentation. These small, thoughtful actions leave a lasting impact because they're practical and personal. He won't just appreciate what you've taught him, he'll associate you with his progress and achievements. But remember, this isn't about showing off or taking control. The key is to make it feel organic, like you're sharing something you genuinely enjoy or believe in. Men value authenticity, and when your actions come from a place of sincerity, they resonate deeply. Now let's tie this back to this bake goal, making him miss you when you've been the catalyst for his growth, or the person who's opened his mind to new possibilities. Your presence becomes irreplaceable every time he uses the skill or recalls that perspective. He'll think of you, and when you're not there, that absence will be felt even more acutely. This is how you go beyond surface level of attraction and create a connection that lingers. You're not just the woman he misses because of your smile or your laugh. You're the woman he misses because you've enriched his life in a way no one else has. So if you've ever wondered how to stand out, how to make an impression that lasts, this is it. By teaching him something new, you're leaving a piece of yourself with him, a memory he'll carry with him long after you've parted ways. And if this idea resonates with you, let's make it a moment to connect like this video and drop a number 1 in the comments. If you're ready to create deeper, more meaningful connections, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on mastering the art of love and relationships. In the next part, we'll explore the power of emotional discipline and how mastering your silence can make him miss you even more. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. 7. Master the power of 7. Master the power of silence. Silence. Let's talk about silence. It's not just the absence of words. It's a statement. It's a strategy. And when it comes to making a man miss you, silence can be your most powerful tool. But here's the thing. Silence isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about without creating space for him to notice your absence, to miss your presence, and to realize what he might be losing. Imagine this scenario. You've been texting back and forth with him for days, and suddenly you stop. Not because you're angry or trying to punish him, but because you're giving him the gift of distance. What happens next? At first, he might not notice, but as the hours turn into days, he starts to feel the void. He checks his phone expecting your name to pop up. It doesn't. And that's when curiosity turns into longing. Silence creates contrast. When you're always available, your presence becomes part of the background, expected routine taken for granted. But when you withdraw, even for a short while, it disrupts that routine. It forces him to reevaluate his feelings and recognize the role you play in his life. But let me be clear. Silence is not about manipulation. It's about confidence. It's about knowing your worth and not feeling the need to constantly seek his validation. It's about giving him the time and space to come to you instead of always being the one to reach out. Now, let's explore why silence is so effective, Men by nature are problem solvers. When you go silent, it creates a puzzle for him to solve. Why hasn't she? Ed, did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? These questions start to swirl in his mind, and the more he thinks about them, the more he's thinking about you. Silence also taps into the principle of scarcity. The Stoics believed in the power of restraint in valuing things, puzzle for him to solve. Why hasn't she? Ed, did I do something wrong? Is she losing interest? These questions start to swirl in his mind, and the more he thinks about them, the more he's thinking about you. Silence also taps into the principle of scarcity. The Stoics believed in the power of restraint, in valuing things that are not easily accessible. When your attention becomes scarce, it naturally becomes more valuable. He starts to realize that your time and energy are not unlimited, that they must be earned. Let's take it a step further. Silence also allows you to shift the power dynamic. When you're always the one initiating contact, you're signaling that you're more invested in the relationship than he is. But when you step back and embrace silence, you're showing him that you're not dependent on his response. You're not waiting by the phone, hoping for his attention. You have your own life, your own priorities, and your own inner peace. This is the essence of Stoicism in action. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from within, from the ability to master your emotions and remain composed, regardless of external circumstances. When you practice silence, you're embodying this philosophy. You're demonstrating emotional discipline and self-control qualities that are incredibly attractive. Now, let's talk about how to use silence effectively first. It's important to be intentional. Silence isn't about ignoring him or cutting him off completely. It's about creating a pause. It's about giving him the opportunity to reflect on your relationship and take the initiative to reach out. Second timing is key. Silence works best when it's balanced with moments of connection. If you're always silent, it might come across as disinterest or aloofness, but when you alternate between being warm and engaging and then pulling back, it creates a dynamic that keeps him intrigued. Here's an example. Let's say you've been having a great conversation, and then you decide to end it on a high note. Instead of dragging it out or waiting for him to say goodbye, you take the lead. You say something like, "This has been fun, but I've got to run talk soon," and then you leave the ball in his court. What happens next? He's left wanting more. He starts to miss your energy, your humor, your presence. And when you don't immediately follow up, it makes him realize just how much he values those things. But what if he doesn't respond to your silence? That's where confidence comes in. Silence is a test not of him but of yourself. Can you resist the urge to reach out? Can you trust that if he's truly interested, he'll make the effort? Here's the truth. The right man will notice your silence. He'll feel its weight. And if he cares about you, he'll take action. If he doesn't, then your silence has given you the clarity you need to move forward. Silence is also a gift to yourself. It gives you the space to focus on your own growth, your own happiness, your own life. It's a reminder that your worth isn't defined by his attention, but by your own sense of self. And let's not forget the power of re-entry. When you do break the silence, it should feel intentional and meaningful. Maybe it's a thoughtful message, a playful comment, or a genuine check-in. This is the art of Stoic love, using silence not as a weapon, but as a tool for connection and clarity. It's about trusting the process and knowing that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Because here's the thing, silence isn't empty, it's full of possibility. It's the space where longing grows, where feelings deepen, where connections are rediscovered. And when you master the power of silence, you're not just making him miss you, you're making him value. You stay tuned, because there's so much more to explore. This journey isn't just about relationships, it's about self-mastery, growth, and discovering the extraordinary woman you are. So let's take a step back and reflect on everything we've explored. Each of these conclusions, bringing it all together. Strategies is more than just a tool for attraction. They're principles that can help you step into your own power, deepen connections, and elevate how you approach relationships. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, a woman who is confident, magnetic, and unforgettable by living your best life, resisting attention, traps, embracing mystery, and subtly creating jealousy. You shift the dynamic in your favor. You're no longer chasing him. You're showing him why he should value you when you add a personal bond through a unique nickname or teach him something new. You create moments and memories that tie him to you emotionally. Finally, mastering the power of silence brings it all together, leaving space for him to miss you, and truly appreciate your presence. But here's the ultimate takeaway. These strategies are rooted in self-respect and emotional discipline. They're about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your sense of self-worth, and that's what makes them so powerful. The ancient Stoics believed that the foundation of a meaningful life lies in mastering your emotions, focusing on what you can control and letting go of. External validation. When you bring these principles into your relationships, you create dynamics that are healthy, balanced, and deeply fulfilling. This is the essence of Stoicism, and it's what makes these strategies so timeless and effective. Now ask yourself, what kind of woman do you want to be? Are you ready to embrace these principles and transform the way you approach love and relationships? Because when you do, you'll not only make him miss you, you'll make him admire and respect you, and ways he never thought possible. You deserve to be with someone who values you, who sees your worth, and who wants to be part of your incredible journey. These strategies are about creating the reality, not by chasing after it, but by becoming it. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. If you found this helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who could use this wisdom. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights on mastering the art of love and relationships. Here's to you, your growth, your power, and the extraordinary love story you're about to write. Stay confident, stay magnetic, and remember, the best is yet to come.